So, I mean, when you look at this Cody Rhodes situation, and it was last year we kind of had this belief that when he returned at WrestleMania and he had the program with Seth, and we thought, it's going to be the summer of Cody. It's like the summer of Lex, but better. He's going to go to SummerSlam. He's going to dethrone Roman Reigns. He's going to win that. He's going to win the WWE title. Like, he's going to be world champion. He never got to be that in AEW. Like, you can't write a better story, right? Like, you can't write a better return to the WWE. And then he goes and fucking tears his pec. He's gone for a year. Roman's fucking God run. Cody comes back, wins the Royal Rumble. He's going to finish the story, right? And that's when we started hearing about this. Finish the story. I'm back again to finish the story. And the story in this particular case is winning the title that Dusty never won, the WWE title, now the undisputed Universal Championship, the black and gold belt that Roman wears,
intergalactic something.
Yeah, the intergalactic champion of the universe.
Yeah.
But of course he loses, right, at WrestleMania. Now it's the discussion, and I've seen it from people, is okay, well, maybe he'll go and win it at SummerSlam. Well, that ain't going to happen, because now it's the Bloodline Civil War, and it's going to be Roman versus Jay, and we're going to get Brock versus Cody 3 at SummerSlam. Well, then it's, maybe it'll be Royal Rumble, or maybe he's going to carry the story out to WrestleMania again. Well, okay, that's all well and good, but let's start putting these pieces together, because he won the Royal Rumble this year. Okay,
Correct.
He was entrant 30.
Yeah.
Wins the Rumble this year. Is he gonna win? He's not. Roman's not dropping the title at Royal Rumble. Okay, if it's not at SummerSlam, and spoiler alert, folks, it's not going to be.
Yeah,
it's at WrestleMania. Okay, so if it happens, it'll happen at Mania, I think.
Yeah.
Now, is Cody going to win the Royal Rumble again? If you say no, and you say that, let's just pretend whoever wins the Royal Rumble, maybe it is Gunther, that Gunther picks Seth Rollins or whoever the WWE World Heavyweight Champion is, because that's the belt on Raw. How does Cody, a Raw superstar, get to Roman on SmackDown? Right? It starts to become a little complicated. Now, again, we've already seen Raw superstars on SmackDown guys on Raw, people coming from NXT up. Carmelo Hayes has been on Raw, and people are going down to NXT. So I get it. Like, we had a draft, but we're not totally holding to it. But how do we get Cody from Raw to SmackDown? And then, or is it just going to be, he's going to be calling Roman out from Raw, and Roman answers on SmackDown, or Heyman comes to Raw? I mean, if we get another Heyman versus Cody promo segment, I'm on board. But
of course,
how do we get there?
I mean, when there's a will, there's a way. I mean, the champion can cross. Can cross whenever he wants. I mean, he's a SmackDown a roster member, but it's not like we've never seen other champions cross. Branch before. So maybe it's Roman that goes out and says, you know what, I'm bored. I don't know. I'm not saying maybe use that angle necessarily, but I could see a scenario where Roman or Heyman gives Cody another chance, or something. I don't know how you write it into it, of course. But it feels like that's the only, at this point, that's where we're going right now, at least. Because I mean, obviously this Brock feud is supposed to fill time. We all predicted this, that it'll fill time between the spring and the summer, and then he'll go from this to something else.
Let's give that credit.
Yeah, it's been great. Absolutely, it's been fantastic and written well. But you still have time between SummerSlam and Rumble into Mania to fill in, and I don't know how you do that. You get him involved in the world title mix with Seth. I mean, we've done it already. I mean, and honestly, that I think that's should be set for the Gunthers of the world and the Seths and the Bobbies of the world. I think Cody's his sights should be on the title, and on
Well, here's the thing. I think Cody will win the world heavyweight title one day.
It's matter when.
But that's not going to be the first title that he wins. The like
you think you'll win a US title maybe, or I don't know.
Not maybe at some point. But to me, like, but the to me, I think the crowning achievement and the purpose of not the purpose of the return. The return is about, and not to steal the line, but is finishing the story of in his career, returning to WWE, but doing it his way. Like you go a couple years ago, even when the American Nightmare debuted in Impact Wrestling, I don't think we ever thought we were getting back here, right? His freaking music is basically a middle finger to the McMahons. Like if you really listen to the lyrics of the music, it's a middle finger to WWE and the McMahons, and the fact like he's bringing that in is fantastic. But here's the thing, like I'm just looking at the scope of WWE, and there's part of me that's like I don't know if the closing shot of WrestleMania 40 is Cody Rhodes standing in the middle of Lincoln Financial Field with that title. And what if he never does? Like, that's a question I think needs to start being asked.
That's sort of something to think about. I mean, maybe the story gets pushed back another year. Maybe because again, we've been teasing this for the last couple weeks on the show now about like Roman's streak and the amount of days as champion, and Hogan is definitely in. If he surpasses Hogan, but that will take us past WrestleMania 40 to do that. You have to go to September 2024 to get to that point. So if the company prioritizes him passing Hogan's streak, obviously, which I think they do, to be honest with you, I think there's some thought that they want him to pass Hogan. Then that pushes Cody's story ending, if you believe it's going to end at some point, into WrestleMania 41 probably.
Okay.
Wherever that is, London maybe.
We were just playing How Does It Feel to Be 38? Cody's 38.
Yeah.
Okay. Cody is, where is it? 7 days older than me. He was born June 30th of 85. Okay. And he's got miles on him, man.
He does.
He's been wrestling since he signed in Ohio Valley Wrestling in 2006. So he's been doing this for 17 years. That's a long time, man.
But what do we consider old in wrestling at this point now? Because I used to consider 38 old years ago. Now what Bobby's doing and Brock, I mean, Bobby last season in his late 40s.
Bobby.
I mean, he's still pretty viable. Looks great. He
does.
Brock Lesnar, same thing.
And Cody does as well. But like, I mean, Lashley's taking breaks. He's on a break right now, right?
Yeah, we haven't seen in a while.
Brock has taken numerous breaks. Brock's a part-timer.
More or less.
Right now, Cody's wrestling a lot. So do you start slowing him down? I mean, Bobby's 46.
Although you gotta consider the fact that Cody's injury may have actually, allowed him to rest up his legs a little bit, despite the injury, of course. But
yeah, but again, there's when you're repairing a pec, that's you're like you're repairing when you buy a brand new car and you drive it for 5 years and your car normally gets you 10, but you have to put a new transmission at 5. Like, yeah, okay, well, it might have bought you some more time, but there's also a chance that transmission's going to blow again, right?
This is true.
Like the minute you start fixing things, you're saving bumps on the bump card, but you're adding mileage at the same time.
Here's what I'll say. if we are going that route, who are the guys that make sense that should beat Roman moving forward, whether it's next year or even the year after? Who are the 3 guys you pencil in as, okay, this makes
not
sense
Cody
to beat Seth, given where he's at now in the company? Seth makes sense now because where he's at now in the company. I would have said that a year ago. Now I can see that
Seth
making
could
more
be
sense.
for sure.
Right. And then maybe if we believe Gunther is going to be the next guy in line, that's primed to be the next guy for this next era, the next superstar of the next, generation, he'd be the 3rd guy. But it's a matter of when. I think right now in a just in a small sample right now, I think Cody still makes the most sense. I think the press is when you pull the trigger. And to me, I know we discussed in the podcast months ago. The stage matters. When it happens matters too. Like him doing it on Raw won't have the same effect.
He's not winning that title on Raw.
No,
nobody's winning that title.
Quite frankly, I don't even think SummerSlam's big enough for it.
From Roman Reigns, nobody's winning that title on Raw.
It's got to make sense. It's got to be on a big.
It'll be Mania,
right?
Or it's SummerSlam.
I don't think SummerSlam. Honestly, I think it has to be Mania. I think Mania will bust.
I disagree, man. SummerSlam is becoming, or has become. I won't even say is becoming. Has become the WrestleMania in August. It's in the same size stadiums. It's like because it's this year. It's not
right. No, I'm with you on that part, but the name value is still bigger at WrestleMania. And to me, have there been actually any really momentous SummerSlam title changes? Forget in the early days. I'm talking about like now, like in the last 15 years. I mean, I don't remember really anything significant.
Well, I mean, you got to understand the last 3 SummerSlams have been part of this Roman Reigns run.
Right. Roman losing the title is a significant, it's not just any title change. This is the title change.
It is.
This is Hogan losing to Andre and on the main event on primetime TV when no one saw it coming.
Lesnar, Rollins beat Lesnar for the Universal title in 19 in the main event.
Right. But again, he didn't have the same feel because
he Reigns also defeated Lesnar in 2018 in the main event to win the Universal title.
Right. But also the first thing to your point about Lesnar and Rollins. Rollins beat him also 3 months prior to that at WrestleMania. So it didn't have the same significance. My point is more so
SummerSlam was the crowning of the first Universal Champion in 2016. So I mean, if you're looking at it, I mean, prior to the pandemic, because in the pandemic is where,
of course,
in 2020 the Fiend beat Braun Strowman, and Roman returned, and then the God Run began.
Right.
The Undertaker had one of his last matches in the main event of SummerSlam 2015.
If this wasn't Roman Reigns' title, if this is any other random wrestler, insert whatever wrestler, it could be anybody. I would agree 100% with you on that.
Lesnar beat Cena in that in where he ragdolled Cena
3,000 times, right? 2,000.
So my point is, if you taking away the pandemic from 2014 to 2019, the WWE has used SummerSlam for title changes.
Oh yeah, no question about that.
So it is a vessel that is a big stage, because at WrestleMania is where things change. SummerSlam is a night where things change. So I'm not sitting here saying that Roman's going to lose the title at SummerSlam. Right. I'm saying it could happen.
Oh,
and it will not be a mistake if it does. Do I think it will happen at SummerSlam sitting here today? I do not. At a SummerSlam? No. I think it'll happen at a WrestleMania. But it could happen at SummerSlam, and I don't think it's a mistake if it does. SummerSlam is on if Mania is here, SummerSlam has now gotten to the point where it's here. In the WWE's eyes, SummerSlam is right up there with a WrestleMania.
I'm just saying more than anything else that this is the reign. We're looking at this reign as the greatest reign in the history of the company. not just
For
any
sure.
title range. And that's why whoever is the one that takes off his waist, it's a significant. It's really in the wrestling parlance. It's a where were you when this happened moment.
Mm-hmm.
So when Hogan slammed Andre, when Warrior beat Hogan in Mania 6, those moments. And I would argue that the way they're writing this story, bigger. We've said this on this podcast that this Bloodline story is the best and biggest storyline in the history of the company.
It's the number one story.
So the payoff has to conclude at the biggest stage. And to me, and I'm a SummerSlam mark, first off.
Yeah.
But to me, this has to get paid off at Mania. Because when you look back 20 years after the fact, let's say it's Cody. When the story is told with Cody, or anybody else would matter. It's one of those moments. Oh yeah, that's when he ended the God streak, the God run. And WrestleMania is that another tablet into the WrestleMania portal of big moments.
And here's the thing: if the goal, and I'm not sitting here confirming that it is, but if the goal is for this run to pass Hulk Hogan's, that would be in September of 2024.
Yes,
you're going to be past SummerSlam. Okay, so if that's the goal, then WrestleMania 41 would be the next logical spot for Roman to lose.
I'm gonna be honest to you. Like, I'm not gonna put. If I put percentage on it, it'd be probably like 50%. I think that's in play.
I absolutely think it's in play. I won the World Heavyweight Championship makes 1,476 days, which would be passing Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
The World Heavyweight Championship that Seth Rollins is carrying is what makes that a viable option.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, given how much juice they squeeze out of the storyline, who knows where they go next?
Yeah, I mean, look, like Roman still has matches coming against Jey Uso.
Mm-hmm.
He has a match coming against Jimmy Uso. I guarantee it. Somewhere in this line, he's going to have a match with Solo Sikoa.
Is it confirmed? Uso and Roman SummerSlam? Is it confirmed?
I don't think it's
night,
actually confirmed, but it's happening.
Right, it's going to happen.
If you're paying attention, it's happening.
Right. And by the way, for the record, there is precedence. This guy's had a fantastic match of Clash of Champions in 2020. Fantastic.
Oh, it will be a fantastic main event.
I can't wait for it.
But there's a name I just said, Solo Sikoa, is a guy that could dethrone Roman.
You can get easily another 6 months, 9 months to a year. If you're telling me Solo Sikoa at some point turns on Roman, or that wherever that story goes, Solo and Roman end up feuding. This extends to another year, probably another year of storytelling.
It could.
And who knows where it goes after that?
The careful thing is with this, and I know the WWE is treating this very carefully. You can tell the care and the thought that they have put into this story. But, and not that because I saw somebody on Twitter the other day say that they're winding down the Bloodline story at SummerSlam with this match, and I'm like, you're not paying attention if you think that.
We thought about it 2 years ago.
But with
there he is.
There is going to be other legs to the Bloodline story, or to Roman's reign, that get away from the Bloodline.
Yeah,
that is also going to be a tell of whether or not this ends at 40 or 41. But here's my thing. You can get to Cody and Roman at Mania, even if he doesn't Mania 40, even if he doesn't win the Rumble. But if he doesn't win that title that night, he's not going to be the guy to beat Roman. Now, if he ends up winning that title, that's a different thing. But he's not. I don't think you can tell the Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania story 3 times in a row.
No.
So I know
and I don't think you can keep lingering Cody Rhodes as I gotta get to that title. I gotta get to that title for
right, because then it turns like it's about time moment.
Right. It just you almost become tired of it.
So here's my question, and you guys might have already tackled it before I got here, fashionably late. Does Cody even need it at this point?
Yeah, he does.
Does he?
Yeah, because I feel like if you're gonna put Cody on that pedestal of all time greats, and we look at Cody as a guy that probably could be an all time great guy when it's all said and done. The title validates it, really, to be honest here.
Well,
It really does.
He needs to be champion one day. He needs to be a world heavyweight champion in some capacity in this company to get to the next echelon and be really made as one of the top guys ever in WWE, one of the biggest stars like that they've had. Certainly, he'll end up at least going down as one of the biggest stars in WWE of the decade, as long as he gets to that title reign. My thing is, does he need to beat Roman? Does it need to be that story that's getting
I feel
finished?
like the Roman ain't. Go ahead.
Well, because like not only is there another world title now that exists that has already been turned into the workers title that Seth Rollins is out there defending like his name is Orange Cassidy, but at the same time, he could still win the title, the Universal title, one day without necessarily being the person that beats Roman. Like
I think right.
We could be easily in a world where Solo's the guy that beats Roman, and then Cody beats Solo, or Jay beats Roman. I'm not willing to rule out Jey Uso world champion at SummerSlam, just for the record.
Really?
I am not willing to rule that out.
Remember, Joe was also, and like myself, Joe was also surrendered himself to the story also too. So this is part of him surrendering himself to the story.
I mean, dude,
that's what happens.
It's like, okay, let me give it to you, right? Like Roman Reigns is basically Scar, and WWE is Pride Rock, and I'm pretty sure Jey Uso is fucking Simba.
Yeah,
like he even kind of looks like Simba.
Look, I'm clipping that. I'm clipping that for TikTok.
Look, dude, like if Jey Uso beats Roman Reigns and wins the title at SummerSlam, it will be almost on the level of Brock pinning Taker surprise.
Yes.
Because I don't think there is any chance that Jay's winning this title at SummerSlam.
Right.
Not a chance. And it's nothing against Jey Uso. I think Jey Uso is setting himself up in this current run to be a singles world heavyweight level title holder, like top tier title holder.
I almost think he deserves an Emmy award more than a championship, but he's not going to get an Emmy.
Also, why is the WWE, are they like, they should be eligible for those?
Yeah, it's that weird line where again, I think we should embrace more the fact that they're not just athletes, that they are entertainers, that they are actors,
this storyline deserves an Emmy. Let's be honest.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, and the truth is, like, look, actors on SNL get nominated in the lead acting categories all the time. Like WWE is basically just sketch television.
Yeah.
Jey Uso could have had supporting actor Emmy nom. I'm
Paul
just
Heyman.
putting that out there.
Paul Heyman should have a best supporting actor.
Oh wow, question.
But like to me, it's on that level because I don't see it ending now. I really don't. I think Jay had his moment at Money in the Bank, and his moment is being in that match across from Roman on the WWE's second biggest stage.
So here's my question.
Okay.
If you had to choose which one to continue and you can only continue one, do you continue the Roman Reigns title reign or do you continue the Bloodline story?
Roman title reign. Because that's ultimately that ties everything in. That ultimately what ties everything into one. Because he can still lose the relatives, but the title still is what's holding him. The ultimate crown is the title.
You're saying as long as he's still champion,
it doesn't matter.
You never get the Solo, Jey Uso, Tribal Chief, all of that stuff. It's just Roman.
Yeah, Roman. Like Either he loses to Jay at SummerSlam. This is the what if, okay? Well, not what if. This is the red pill, blue pill.
Right.
Either he loses to Jay at SummerSlam and the Bloodline storyline continues, or he beats Jay and the Bloodline storyline is over, but Roman's reign continues from there. You get one.
I mean Roman's title reign.
Interesting.
Because ultimately, the thing that chops Roman down isn't the end of the bloodline; it's the end of his title reign. That's why it's important. We were discussing earlier about how moments. The reason why I think he has to lose at WrestleMania, whether it's next year or the year after, is because WrestleMania, while SummerSlam is kind of almost neck and neck, but WrestleMania kind of slight edge to more importance. This is being treated as the greatest reign in the history of the company. So whoever is the honorable person of being able to snatch the title from him, it's gonna be one of those moments that 10 years later look at. Oh yeah,
I don't know that I agree with that. I think more people are talking about how the Bloodline is the best storyline ever. I haven't really heard a lot of people saying how Roman's the best champion ever.
It's a little bit of both though. That it feeds one feeds the other.
I would say it's more the biggest title reign as opposed to necessarily the best. And I know that's a weird semantics argument, but I think that there's probably people that can make cases for better, different best title reigns, because you can have a really, really good 2-month title reign.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if it ends because of injury or something.
This is the biggest for sure, because it's tied to the best story the company's ever told. That's a really tough question, because there's a lot of intrigue to Roman Reigns and the Bloodline if Jey Uso becomes the champion / kind of tribal chief, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what this is about. Roman came back from being sick and from the pandemic. He came back to take the title and take his rightful place at the top of this historic wrestling family. Now, what happens if the guy who dethrones him is within the family?
Right.
It's an in-family war. Yeah.
If I have to pick one of the two, I'm probably taking Jey Uso winning.
Yeah.
Because I love this story.
Right.
More than I love Roman as champion. Roman as champion, yes, it pushes the story.
Yes.
But if that title is staying in the Bloodline and I'm getting to see what this dynamic is after, because if Jay's the guy that wins, Roman's not disappearing, right? That's the part that makes it really intriguing.
Right, exactly.
Jesus Christ, here goes the neighborhood.
Oh, hey there. Hey there, fuckers.
How high are you?
Well, I'm technically on the 4th floor, but my brain's on the 37th floor.
Pretty high.
Awesome.
You should have seen last night, Joe.
EJ, remember how I took the over?
Yep.
Wait, what was the over what?
We were betting over under on length of show. And he set the mark at 105 because it was going to be me, him, and Joe.
It started as me and him only at first. Joe just getting
Mike shows up.
It'll probably just be the three of you because we're getting ready to go play poker. But I was just checking in because where else are you going to get a fabulous view like this?
Look at that.
What is that? Fuck, I can't see.
It's Vegas.
No, I know. Are you in the hotel room now, or are you still?
Yeah, we're getting ready to leave right now.
Oh, okay.
I got Caesar's Palace, the Ferris wheel, the Mirage in my back. So, woo!
So in the spirit of being in Vegas, give us the odds that Cody Rhodes finishes the story.
Eventually, or at WrestleMania 40?
Whatever.
Eventually.
Eventually, 97.4. WrestleMania 40, 47.5.
Oh.
So are we calling the story just he wins the the Universal title eventually,
well,
or is it that he beats Roman?
The story in question to this topic is winning what is currently Roman's title. Yes.
So he has to beat Roman.
Well, no, winning that title.
He has to win that title from somebody.
That's the title that his
okay.
dad won.
So then, yes, he will do that eventually.
That's what I'm saying. 97 and a half that it gets done. 47 and a half that he beats Roman at Mania 40.
Yeah, that's honestly exactly what I was saying before you joined us. That like, I think Cody eventually wins the belt. I think he eventually, cements his place as like a top 10 guy of the decade in WWE.
Yeah.
I don't think he's the guy that's going to beat Roman.
I can see it.
Yeah. Whoever beats Roman is placed as a very important person, whether it's him or Seth or Gunther, doesn't matter. It's a big deal.
That's another topic in and of itself.
It's changing the guard moment. What it does really at that point.
Yeah. All right. Well, Mikey, are you leaving us?
I'm out. All
right, buddy.
All right.
Next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Later. It's a change of guard moment. I was telling Jim earlier on beginning the topic, like when you look at WrestleMania collages and like montages and stuff, and you see like Hogan slamming Andre, Warrior beating Hogan and holding the belt up in the air, all the great moments. Austin era begins. Whoever beats Roman and WrestleMania it happens, that's gonna be added to the another pill of montages of. And if it's Cody, especially, the story's ended. The story, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I can see that.
And if Jay pins him at SummerSlam, that moment gets added to all the SummerSlam video packages. And it's in a big stadium also, and like yada yada yada. It looks great for them. Like that's, like yeah, like we got to remember, as much as WrestleMania is still WrestleMania, they're also trying to brand so many of these events as just as big as WrestleMania now.
No, I agree. I just think that if it was just any other title reign that's obviously all important, I would say yeah, whatever. But this is being treated as the title reign.
Bro, he came back at SummerSlam. This run,
it started at SummerSlam.
This run, like I know he didn't win the title until the next month, but this run began at SummerSlam.
I don't think anybody envisioned this 3 years down the road.
No, but this is where it started. When you go to YouTube and you go to the WWE's YouTube and you find the 3-hour cinematic start to finish of the Bloodline story that they had before WrestleMania this year, the first moment is SummerSlam 2020. When Roman Reigns comes back and he spears the Fiend and he holds the Universal title up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't at WrestleMania, dog. That was at SummerSlam.
Fair point.
So when like this whole thing started at SummerSlam. I'm not saying that it ends at SummerSlam, but I'm saying you can't necessarily rule it out that it won't.
Oh yeah, and I won't at all.
But to Joe's question earlier, if, in my opinion, if Cody doesn't finish this story, which is winning Dusty's belt, and I'll be honest, I think he does at some point, whether it's him beating Roman or not. So but this is me just presenting this idea. If he doesn't, I don't think this run is a failure. Okay, his return to WWE is not a failure. I think if he doesn't win the title that Roman currently holds, I think he will be a world heavyweight champion. I think he'll be a world heavyweight champion either way. He is, first off, he returned to WWE and he wrestled at WrestleMania as the American Nightmare. He has one of the most memorable Hell in a Cell moments of all time.
Yep.
Maybe even second only to Mick Foley almost dying.
Yeah.
He is a Royal Rumble winner. He main evented WrestleMania as the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. Again, with the music that is basically a middle finger to the McMahon family. The dude's already won. This run is already a success. This return is already a success.
Right. But being Roman puts you in the rarefied air conversation.
Absolutely.
That's the difference. It's the rarefied air part.
Absolutely. But I think beating Roman and winning this title are two different things as well.
Yeah.
Because if Cody doesn't beat Roman at WrestleMania 40, that part of the story is gone.
Yeah.
Then it just becomes he has to find a way to win that title.
I guess the question is how you land the plane. How do you land the plane?
Yeah.
That's a very, very important thing. All right. Anything else on this one?